Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. It looks like everybody's enjoying their wonderful breakfast. Thank you for coming. Welcome to Jackson County CASA's 26th Light of Hope Breakfast. Thank you for joining us for this very special morning to celebrate the advocacy, stability, and hope that Jackson County CASA provides children in foster care. As our event name suggests, we're guided by this morning's light and the hope that a new day brings. This light also guides our path forward in a similar way to the role our staff plays, as well as our volunteers. My name is Carlos Corridor. I am the Director of Development for Jackson County CASA, and I'm honored to share the stage this morning with Sheree Honeycutt. Sheree serves on our board, is the spokeswoman and press secretary for Kansas City, Missouri, and she's also a CASA volunteer. Sheree?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carlos. It is incredible to be here. Good morning to Jackson County CASA and all of you. We are so grateful that there are more than 800 of you here today joining us this morning. Can you believe that? You guys all got up this morning and you made it. You already accomplished something today, so congratulations. I know it's an accomplishment for me to get up this early. So I wanted to begin by extending a heartfelt thank you to the unwavering support and advocacy of the individuals and organizations that are important to us and the kids we serve at Jackson County CASA. First of all, thank you to our lead sponsors for your support of this morning's breakfast. Your generous commitment ensures that every child we serve knows that they are seen, supported, and worth fighting for. Thank you so much. Our lead sponsors include Vic Waveda. Vic is also this morning's honorary chair, and you will hear from him a little later. He is such a kind man. I'm so grateful to have met him. He has been working with CASA for quite some time. Just such a humble person, a volunteer, and someone we are very proud to work with. So thank you so much, Vic, for being here. Thank you so much to our Enduring Light sponsors, which are Gary and Kathy Bussing, and the law firm of Shook, Hardy, and Bacon. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Our Spotlight sponsors include Brian and Linda Johnson, Colliers, Ronald and Kelly Lockton Family Foundation, and the Lockton Companies. And our Guardian sponsors include Assurian, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas City, the Hunt Family Foundation, the Mose Family Foundation, Dr. Sid Slayton and Madeline McDonough, Susan Stanton, and U.S. Engineering. Please, a round of applause for all of our sponsors. I would also take a moment to thank our board, which I am also a member of. Thank you so much for all of the current and past members. If you're a board member, would you please stand up so we can recognize you past and present? Being on the board is such a wonderful gift, and I didn't know when I joined what that would mean. But it's so wonderful to be a part of such an incredible group of people that care so much about our organization and guiding it. So thank you. Thank you for your guidance, your leadership, and the service to our agency to support our kids. And thank you to the staff of Jackson County CASA. Collectively, you represent 275 years of service to the agency. Over 11,000 lives touched and voices amplified. You show up in the courtroom, the classroom, the community, and in countless other ways. Simply to put it, thank you. So if you are a CASA employee, if you would please stand up and let us recognize you as well. Thank you so much. And And finally, to our volunteers, I started volunteering with CASA organizations, oh goodness, around 10 years ago, and it is such an incredible light in my life to be able to give back, which I'll talk a little bit about later. But if you are a volunteer here or even considering being a volunteer, thank you so much for what you do and the love and support that you can give to a child. Carlos, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheree. And again, another round of applause for our sponsors, our volunteers, and our staff that are here today. So throughout this morning's program, you'll hear inspiring stories of advocacy and resilience as we honor community leaders and volunteer advocates. You each show up in profound, unique, and ordinary ways, making extraordinary impact on the lives of children and their families. Through the Light of Hope Award, we honor a special family for their support, their advocacy, and their friendship. They're guided by profound understanding that children are the building blocks of our community. There is nothing stronger than the heart of a volunteer. Our words echoed in the movie Pearl Harbor. The power behind these words sets the stage for this year's recipient for the Teresa Rabideau Award of Volunteer Excellence, as we honor a leader of change who brings both passion and compassion to her work. Another highlight of this morning will be a featured speaker who will share with you his journey. It's a celebration of those that stood with him and how one voice can be the difference. Before I hand over the mic to our next presenter, I just want to do a quick thing of housekeeping. Before you leave, make sure you pick up your parking voucher from the check-in counter so that you can get out of the parking lot very, very smoothly. And to get us started, please join me in welcoming to the stage Peter Kowalski, Jackson County CASA's board chair. Welcome.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Sheree. Good morning, everybody. It is great to see so many people here, especially this early, supporting Jackson County CASA. I've been fortunate to serve on the CASA board for the past 6 years, but my connection to CASA goes back much further. 23 years ago, a coworker invited me to this breakfast, the Light of Hope. That was my first introduction to CASA. And like many of you, I walked in that morning for the first time, not knowing much about CASA. But I walked out seeing things very differently. Because that day, I learned what the children in the family court system face and what they go through every day. The challenges and the journey. But more importantly, I learned that ordinary people like us can step in and do something about it by supporting CASA's advocacy for these children and making sure that they're not navigating that system alone. That idea stuck with me. And years later, when I had the opportunity to get more involved in supporting CASA, I jumped at it. I'm honored this year to serve as board chair of this tremendous organization. And I can tell you, CASA is incredible. The staff, the board, especially the volunteers, who Angie will recognize in a moment, care deeply about the Kansas City community and especially the children that we serve. And what they've accomplished over the last few years is remarkable. When I think about CASA right now, one word comes to mind: growth. Since our capital campaign in 2021, we've grown from serving just under half of the children in care in Jackson County to now serving nearly every child. That's 1,368 kids. And that's not just a number. That's 1,368 children who had someone in their corner. And that only happens because people like you decide to step in and help. Because we can't do this work alone. We need you to help ensure that every child in foster care has a CASA volunteer, someone to advocate for them and help guide them toward a safe, permanent home. Because when a child has a CASA volunteer, the outcomes are better. They spend less time in foster care. They're more likely to reunify with safer, healthier families, and they're less likely to come back into the system. That is real impact. And this morning, we're asking you to be part of that impact. As we look ahead, we expect to serve nearly 1,400 children this year. That's 1,400 kids who need someone in their corner. So when the time comes, I ask you to consider making a gift, because these kids need it. And what that support really does is tell a child something that they may not hear very often, that they matter, that they're not alone, and that this community is standing behind them. Thank you, and thank you for being part of this work. Please take a few minutes, connect at your tables, enjoy your breakfast, and we'll continue the program shortly.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Angie Blummel, and I have had the honor and really privilege of serving as the president and CEO of Jackson County CASA for the past 9 years. I echo all of the remarks this morning, welcoming you, thanking you so much for being here. And in just a moment, I'm going to thank a very special person, and I'm going to invite him on stage in just a minute. But before I do, I want to give you a little housekeeping. Carlos mentioned, please, if you haven't already, make sure to get your parking validated on your way out the door. We also have a table for folks who are interested in learning more about becoming a CASA volunteer right outside the ballroom doors, so please be sure to stop there. And then we have, thank you to the Chiefs organization and the Hunt Family Foundation. We have some awesome Kansas City Chiefs items that we are raffling off. So be sure to stop by, purchase a raffle ticket. We will be polling the winners by the end of day today, and we will post the results on all of our social media channels. So good luck to you, but you don't want to miss out. There's some really fabulous, fabulous items. So as I mentioned, I wanted to take a moment to thank a very special person who helped make today possible, and that is our honorary chair, Vic Waveda. Vic is, as Sheree mentioned, just one of the kindest, caring human beings I think that I've ever met, and he's super modest. So today, he's coming on stage after much arm twisting by me. I was like, Vic, you're our honorary chair. Everybody wants to hear from you. Will you please come on stage and make remarks? And he smiled at me. This was a few months ago. He smiled at me and he said, no. He did not want to come on stage. And I said, well, what if we just have a little chat? What if we have a little talk? He said, oh, okay, we could do that. So I'm going to call Vic up in a minute, but I want to just share with you why Vic is so special and how he became a part of Jackson County CASA. I first met Vic back in 2017. It was my first year at CASA, and Vic had just lost his beloved wife, Teresa. She had recently passed, and she was a CASA volunteer up until her passing. And Vic came by the office because his family did a lovely thing, and they asked for donations in her memory. So he dropped by the office with some donations, and we visited a little bit. And he kept coming back, and he kept dropping by the office with more donations and different items that our kids might need, some hygiene items, some gas cards, you name it. Vic brought it by the office, and we kept chatting and chatting. And then finally, after about a year, I was like, Vic, you should really consider becoming a CASA volunteer. And that's just what he did in 2018. And so we have had the pleasure and the privilege of working closely with Vic Waveda, today's presenting sponsor, for the past several years. So Vic, come on up. I want to introduce you to everybody, and let's have a little chat. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Angie. How are you?
You are doing fine. That's great. I love it. I love it. So, Vic, we will start out with an easy question. And I think I know the answer to this, but please share with everybody, why did you choose to become a CASA volunteer, and what keeps you involved?
Well, of course, first of all, it's the kids. As a CASA volunteer, one of the highlights is we visit the kids regularly in their placement. Those visits are mostly fun. When it's nice outside, we play catch, shoot baskets, play a lot of board games, card games, dice games, and lately, a lot of Play-Doh.
So, but it's not all fun and games. I know that there's some serious stuff in there as well. Tell us about that.
Well, school-age kids can have trouble. As a CASA volunteer, you have the right to visit the school, talk to the teacher, and then as a CASA team, we attend team meetings, court hearings, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've told me before that, of course, you're in it for the kids. They are amazing, and incredible. And there are lots of fun times with them, but lots of sad and hard times. But what keeps you hopeful, you shared with me, are the families. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that.
Well, the families are amazing because when a child comes into foster care, it can be a very tumultuous time for the family. On my cases, I have seen aunts, uncles, grandparents, even friends supply temporary.
Yeah, so they're the placements. Yeah, until
temporary placement.
Yep.
And then the best thing is you see the parents really step up, live a much healthier life, and be reunified with the kids.
That's right. And that's our ultimate goal at CASA. We want to preserve families, and we want kids to return to safer, healthier parents. And that happens a lot of time because of the great work of our CASA volunteers and our amazing staff team. So, Vic, tell us, what are some of your favorite parts about being a volunteer and a donor to the organization?
Well, one of the things is visiting the CASA office a lot. Everybody knows that I show up there about once a week, and I'm usually greeted with, "Vic, what are you doing here today?" And they are used to my answer, "I'm just loitering."
You are not loitering. I just last week, I saw you coming down the stairs of the CASA house with a toolbox, and I'm like, "Vic, what are you doing?" He was fixing something or probably putting together a piece of furniture for us. So we love how much you drop by the CASA office.
But, the CASA office is always so welcoming, so friendly. They always are interested in how everything's going with you, especially about your cases. And as you mentioned a minute ago, it's always a good time for me to ask the staff if they have cases that need particular things. Like you said, hygiene items, gift cards, snacks, all those things.
Yeah, and I know that you like to visit with the staff, but you also take advantage of a lot of the continuing education opportunities we offer to volunteers. And so your fellow volunteers are another part that's really meaningful to you. Tell us about that.
Well, they are amazing. And over the years with our, especially the fun times, they always put on Taco Tuesday for us. But we can talk to each other about the cases. And to me, there's so many CASA volunteers that do way more than I do with their cases, and they're just amazing.
I agree, they are amazing. And in fact, tomorrow night, we have our spring volunteer appreciation event where we'll have the CASA volunteers and their guests gathered together so that we can thank all of you. So that'll be a lot of fun. So you've mentioned the people, you talked about the staff, your fellow volunteers, but I know you and I have talked a lot about something that Peter mentioned just a few minutes ago, and that's the outcomes for the children that we serve.
Yeah, just like was mentioned, we know that children in foster care who have a CASA team working for them have much better outcomes than children who don't. They spend less time in foster care and receive a permanent, loving, safe home more quickly.
That's right. That's right. Okay, last question. You did great, by the way. You are doing great. What do you, thank you. Yes. I think Vic has a second career in public speaking that he didn't know about. So Vic, this is the last question.
Okay.
What do you want? We're taking this show on the road, Vic. What do you want our attendees today to understand about CASA and the awesome kids and families that we serve?
Well, especially like also was mentioned before, if anyone in the audience here has ever thought about or is thinking about becoming a CASA volunteer, please do. It is an amazing journey, and I know a lot of people will think, well, we are all busy, we have a lot to do, but it will be worth it. And from the time you take your initial training through all your cases, the wonderful CASA staff will be there to guide you and help you.
That's right. Vic, amazing job. Thank you so much.
What about the other thing?
Do you have parting words? I like it. Go ahead, Vic. Go ahead. Vic goes, wait, I have one more thing to say. Parting words. Go ahead, Vic.
Well, also, like was mentioned earlier, if you're considering making a gift to CASA today, please do. CASA will make sure that every dollar is spent toward achieving a child in foster care having a safe, loving home.
That's right. Vic, one more thing before you go. I'm going to put you on the spot. You have a wonderful quote that you've shared with me before, and I always find it so moving. So will you share it with us today? I believe it's from St. Francis of Assisi. Is that right?
St. Francis of Assisi.
Take it away.
He simply says, "It is in giving that we receive." And that's what, you had to bring that up, didn't you? CASA is giving, and what you receive from CASA is all in here.
Thank you, Vic. Yeah. Amazing. I surprised Vic. I didn't prepare him for that last question about the saying by St. Francis of Assisi, but he's shared it with me many times in my office, and both of us always cry. Every time that he starts it, we both were like, no, I can't look at you, stop it. It's just such a wonderful sentiment from a wonderful man, and I think that there's a reason that we wanted you on stage today, Vic, because you really do embody the spirit of CASA and all of the volunteers. And speaking of the volunteers, I wanted to have this special moment. I made Carlos and Peter and everyone save it just for me because we could not do what we do without our 300 plus active CASA volunteers. And in just a moment, you're going to hear about just one of our amazing volunteers when you hear and watch the video about the Teresa Rabideau Award for Volunteer Excellence. And I always think when we're making that difficult choice, and it's a hard choice because we have so many worthy volunteers, but we picked a tremendous recipient this year. I always think, I wish I could give an award to all of the volunteers, all of the CASA volunteers with us. So one way I can do that is that I can ask you, please stand so that we can recognize you for your efforts and everything that you do for children in foster care. CASA volunteers, please stand. And now, for a very special part of our breakfast this morning, our awards.
I think the role a CASA volunteer can play, bringing little comforts, bringing normalcy, is amazing. There was a time I thought perhaps that was shallow. You know, here they're going through or have gone through terribly traumatic experiences, and I'm asking what their favorite candy bar is, or saying, hey, let's color today. What I learned, those little comforts help them get a break from everything, and how people who care about them do simple things, and that shows they love them. and are there for them.
The team decided to create this award to honor the commitment of our amazing CASA volunteers. And what's hard is every year we have to pick just one when we have literally hundreds of CASA volunteers who are so worthy. But this year we picked a very special person. The Teresa Rabideau Award for Volunteer Excellence will go to Patty Woods.
Hi, I'm Patty Woods, and I'm a CASA volunteer, a court-appointed special advocate, and I've been doing that for 5 years. I've started working mostly with older youth, and especially older youth who have their own children.
Patty Woods is amazing. She is like a splash of sunshine. She's very positive, very upbeat. She's high energy. Patty has spent so much time and energy focused on the kids that she represents. She is open to learning about our kids, who they are, and what their circumstances are, and it allows them to be themselves and also to accept what she has to offer to help them move forward in their lives.
I think one of the biggest things I've learned from her is to not take no for an answer. If she believes that her older youth needs something, she will find that and make sure that they have it and make sure that they are taken care of, whether it's their wishes, housing, resources. She makes sure that they are taken care of. If they're close to aging out, she makes sure that they have every piece of information that they need. She never gives up on her older youth. She believes in them.
I've been fortunate to have 2 older youth, young women who had children while I was with them. By learning from my daughter and my experience with my own daughter, I was able to use that as I got to know my kiddos, my young women, as young mothers. I'm amazed at how these young women step up and are dedicated to breaking the cycle that they're a part of on behalf of their own children. I'm really touched and surprised to be recognized with this award. I hope that my stories will help other people say that they can do this too, because they can. There are a lot of children in need and a lot of wonderful people who can help all of us be great volunteers. Thank you, Casey. Thank you to Angie and everyone at CASA for this honor. And thank you to my friends and family who encouraged me to volunteer and have supported my efforts on behalf of some very special children. I'm grateful to have the chance to talk briefly this morning about what being a CASA means to me. As a CASA, I'm part of an amazing community of dedicated professionals and volunteers. Working with people inside and outside of CASA, we have the privilege and the time to focus on our kiddos. I get to be that consistent, caring adult who can help them make sense of the often scary and confusing situation they've been thrown into. And I can help them have a say and some control over their lives. Being a CASA is a role I've come to cherish. When I came to this role, I didn't have a background in child welfare, but I've learned a lot. I've learned new skills like throwing a football and doing face painting. I didn't say I was good at those, but the kiddos don't care. I've learned that simple things are sometimes the best things. Schlepping a kiddo's possessions or diapers in my car, decorating Christmas cookies with the family, getting someone their favorite ice cream. I've been able to witness some hard-fought-for milestones: reunification with a mother, completion of a high school program, the birth of a healthy baby. Mostly, I've been touched and inspired by seeing so much kindness. A woman who donated a car seat, a donor who paid off a water bill, a therapist who arranged a Valentine's Day party so siblings could stay connected. I'm struck by how kids just want to be kids and how creative, funny, and resilient children can be.
It's been a joy to see how my own experience as a mom and now a grandmother applies to supporting my CASA kiddos. You'd be surprised at just how much just being who you are could make you a great CASA. When I tell people I'm a CASA volunteer, they often say they couldn't handle the emotional aspects. That was my biggest concern at first. With training provided and the guidance of my CASA teams, professional partners, and fellow volunteers, I've learned that objectivity, self-care, and emotional connectedness can all coexist. The reality is that as you support your kiddos, you'll be supported in many ways. As a CASA, you will never feel alone, and that will help you ensure the children you care for don't feel alone either. I truly hope you'll consider being a CASA. Thank you.
This is our town. Why shouldn't we support our town? I mean, this is our brick and mortar. This is our brick and mortar that's coming up. We should be supporting that. What we're supporting right now is going to be our buildings tomorrow.
Don and Patty Kincaid are, in a word, real. They are very genuine people. What you see is what you get. They care a great deal about Kansas City. They're born and raised here in Kansas City. They care about the community, but most of all, they care about the children of Kansas City. They live their values. What's important to them is that children do well, and how they live their values is by giving generously to organizations like CASA and the Children's Place and MOXA. We're so fortunate to have them as supporters and friends.
First introduction was with Angela Blummel. Angie and I have been on a board together at MOXA. And then when she moved over to CASA, we learned more about it. The fact that it involves children very much piqued our interest.
I think in the world of philanthropy, you have choices. This is a family that has chosen to give to the youngest people in our community. And they do so without a need for recognition. They do it for fun. They do it to encourage staff. Like, they care about these agencies on such a deeper level, and that makes them truly unique and special.
I think it's really important to have people like Patty and Don who are giving to the cause of helping children and supporting children, because they can really make a collective impact by working with all of those supporting organizations. So CASA works with MOXA, MOXA works with CASA. We are all working to end childhood trauma and to support children who've been abused or neglected. And by supporting all of us, they're really helping to make that change in the community.
The Children's Place, MOXA, CASA, when you look at all these, it's children that are in need. They need support. They need to build their confidence. They need somebody to say, it's okay, you're going to make it, it's going to be better.
Your heart will feel a lot better after being involved. You will be and feel a better person. So in so many ways, what you're giving, you're equally receiving.
I would like to welcome to the stage Ann Scharf and Ishmael Shumat from the Hunt Family Foundation to hand the award off to the Kincaids. We are so excited and thrilled for your partnership. We have been working with their organization. This is going to be our third year as the Chiefs Charity Game. And last year, the Hunt Family Foundation was the recipient of the Light of Hope Award. And so this year, they're handing it off to the next family. Thank you. Congratulations.
Well, good morning. Don and I are honored and humbled by this award.
This thing's heavy.
I know. Yeah. Beautiful, too. I had something to say, and now it's just left me. Again, we are honored and humbled. We're so happy to be part of CASA and so grateful that Angie introduced us to CASA. Kids mean a lot to us. We have 7 and 15 grandchildren, so we know the happiness, the sadness when it comes to raising a large family. And for all these children at CASA, they did not choose where they are right now. They did not choose that they had to go to a foster home or they can't be with mom or dad. And they so need our support and love and attention. And thank you for all the volunteers. There are many hours that they give. Don and I came from very humble beginnings, and we are grateful for where we are today. And so we have a little something this morning.
My turn?
Your turn.
A successful team, excuse me, I've got allergies. A successful team beats with one heart. And looking around this room, there's a lot of big hearts. But right now, with all due respect, I don't want your heart, I want your money. So Angie, here's what we're gonna do. And Victor, you're over there somewhere. Can't see you for all the lights. But Pat and I are gonna match whatever you all raise today. So there's envelopes on your table. There's a pen in front of all of you. So get busy and do something. Take our money. We love you. Thank you.
Wow. How do I follow that? Okay. Oh, good idea. Good idea. And I hope everybody else does too. What an incredible gift. What a surprise. Thank you. Thank you so much, both to Don and Patty Kincaid. And thank you to volunteer Patty Woods. It's so wonderful to gather every year and see the different people that come together and help our kids here in Kansas City. As Carlos shared, when he introduced me, I serve as the spokeswoman and the press secretary for Kansas City. And I also love spending time with my friends, my family, my 2 dogs. I like to garden, I like to do needlepoint, but I'm also a CASA volunteer. Now, I came to CASA because I care deeply in this work, and part of that belief comes from my own life experience. I spent some time in foster care as a teenager, so I understand how much it matters for a child to have someone consistent, someone caring, and someone committed to stand beside them. I also know that foster care is only one part of a person's story. It's part of mine, but it's not the whole story. So after foster care, I worked multiple jobs, working through college. I got a degree in journalism, and I became a television news reporter across Missouri and here at Fox 4 for about 5 years. I won an Emmy in 2020 for our program Thursday's Child, which maybe you saw it. It helped foster children find their adoptive families. And in 2022, I came to the city and was promoted into my position, married my husband, and recently I got my master's degree in journalism from the University of Missouri. Last time you saw me here, thank you. Last time you saw me here, I was getting ready to graduate. Well, I did it. Spoiler. I share that because foster care may shape a person's journey, but it does not shape the rest of their life. And that is what, thank you. And that is what makes our next speaker so powerful. When I saw Shamar was our speaker, I said, I know that name. I've met this guy before. That happens to me a lot when you're a reporter. You meet a lot of people in random places. So I Googled him, and I saw that in 2020, I interviewed Shamar because he became a CASA volunteer during the pandemic. And so just like Shamar, I was in foster care too, and CASA brought us together, and I was so touched by his story. Shamar has been a CASA, like I said, since the pandemic, and he has served 12 children to permanency. He is currently serving in 3 different cases. That is a lot, and that speaks to his character. Now, drawing on his own life experiences, Shamar believes consistent, reliable support makes a difference. When young people have someone that they can trust, they can begin to open up, creating a pathway for healing, connection, and hope, and that gets them to the next phase in their life, and they have those great outcomes. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Shamar Fonville.
Good morning. My name is Shamar Fonville, and today I stand before you not just as an adult, not just as a professional or community member, but as someone who knows what it's like to go through the foster care system. I was a foster kid. Being a foster kid, I've learned uncertainty early. I've learned how to pack my whole life into a trash bag, literally. It's learning not to get too attached to places, people, or even hope, because I knew things could change in an instant. Growing up, I faced obstacles that no child should have to face alone. I didn't always know where I would sleep. I was in and out of hotels, shelters, and I even stayed in abandoned houses with no lights or running water. I didn't know if I was going to eat that night, and often I didn't. At an early age, I had to make tough adult decisions that no child should have to make. There were plenty of moments where I felt invisible, unloved, unprotected, disposable, and judged. But here's the truth that I want you to hear this morning. I'm not standing here because the system worked perfectly. I'm standing here because someone cared. Someone took the chance on me. Along the way, there were adults who showed up consistently, such as caseworkers and counselors. But more importantly, my foster mother, the late Alice Mae Jones. I called her Grandma. She took me into her home and listened, loved, and cared for me when no one else did. She provided protection and guidance. She was my voice. She motivated me to stay in school, to stay focused, because she saw the potential in me when no one else did. The love she showed me changed the whole trajectory of my life. I went on to graduate from high school and college, earning a degree in computer science. Now I work as a global partner manager. Now I work as a global partner manager for a large corporation, because sometimes that one voice can quiet the chaos. One steady presence can change a child's future. I'm a prime example of that. I won't pretend the journey was easy. I struggled. I doubted myself. There were times I truly believed the labels that were placed on me were true, that I was at risk, that I wasn't going to graduate, that I was too much, and my past would define my future. But I overcame those obstacles, not because I was extraordinary, but someone believed in me. That's why I'm standing before you as a CASA volunteer. I understand how a voice can be the difference, that a voice can change the future of so many foster kids in the system. They just need someone to listen, show compassion, and stand with them. CASA volunteers are just everyday people who choose to stand up for kids in the foster care. We are the constant voice in a system full of transitions. We are the ones who show up to court hearings, who talk to teachers, caregivers, and social workers, but most importantly, the child. CASA volunteers don't save children, we stand with them. Advocacy can mean the difference between a child falling through the cracks or finding a solid ground. If I have one message for everyone here this morning, it's this. You don't have to have a perfect background to make a life-changing impact. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to be willing to show up. It starts with an open heart. There are children in foster care right now who are experiencing the same confusion, fear, and loneliness I once felt. They deserve support. They deserve consistency. They deserve someone in their corner. So by becoming a CASA volunteer, you're giving a child something powerful. You're giving them a voice, stability, more importantly, hope. I am proof. When someone takes the time to care, to advocate, to believe, it could change everything. So this morning, I'm asking everyone in here, if you ever wondered how you can make a real difference, this is it. Be the voice, be the constant, be a person a foster care remembers for the one who showed up. There are so many ways you can support CASA. There are envelopes on your tables for checks. Someone's going to match it. Or you can scan the QR code in your program or reply to the text messages you receive to donate online. There are also people ready to take your donations at the registration table. To learn more how you can become a volunteer, go to CASAKC.org website, or you can speak with Ashley outside the ballroom. Thank you for joining us. This concludes our program this morning.